Good evening, all. Ira Epstein of Linn Associates with your financial market wrap-up, and this is for Thursday, the 19th of August, 2021, 6:10 p.m. Central Time. Well, this morning I woke up and I thought the screens were wrong. I'm going, we're down 300 points. We were down 300 points yesterday in the Dow. We were down another 300 today, and then the markets came back off the lows. Coming back off the lows just means they overdid it, but it also means you're not in a crash stage. You're in a market that is, yes, we're in a correction stage. How deep it wants to go, don't know. Today you had your first semblance that the market's finding some support in different indices, and we'll get to that in a moment. You saw bids coming into the bonds and the notes, but you're not back down to the 112 area in the 10-year. You got down into the 122 area, and then you popped up a little bit from there into the yield. The dollar, very strong at the expense of a number of currencies. Silver hit. Copper market hit, even though they're up tonight. You got down to 397 or so in the D's copper, so you've done a full washout in those. And the metal markets, the platinum, the palladium getting hit is automakers. I've been watching all the CEOs coming on to Bloomberg as they've been interviewed today, and there's one common theme. They don't expect things to get back to normal until 2021. The chip shortage is real, and the first people getting chips seem to be the PC makers, not the auto industry. You're down 1.4% for the week so far going into Friday. So a break, it's not that big. I mean, in the scheme of things, it's not that big. When we look at the S&P 500 chart on the daily bar chart, you broke down very hard. You got down to 4350, actually 4347. So you've come down a good way, 117 points, 116 points. That's a lot of points. The market is under the 18-day average, but not in a trend. You have a higher high, lower low. Now, I made a statement to you yesterday, and I want to repeat it. Each time the market has gotten down and under this 18-day average recently, what has it done? It's come back up in just a matter of days. Will this be the same? You have to ask yourself that. It has not been healthy to get aggressive on the bear side of the market under that 18-day average. Where did the market go to? Lower Bollinger Band. What's my rule? The first time you hit that number, I expect to see pros lift out of the market, especially if you're not embedded, which you're not. You just have momentum down. So you got down as low as the what was the low today there? 43.66. You came back, you closed 44.01, so anyone that was short and they were listening to what I said there, that made some sense, and that's where you're at tonight. What is the market trend? There isn't one. What else is going on? You seem to be in the sideways Bollinger Band camp more than anything else. So I'm going to repeat it. Prove to me that you have legs to the downside before you get all excited. In the Nasdaq, we keep holding the lower Bollinger Band. You've been in a downtrend. You've had lower highs, lower lows. And to the naysayers, you made the break low today in the market. Again held, came back into the Bollinger Bands, and that's what you've been doing. The trend is down. The resistance is 15,031.75 right through here. You don't want to see the market, if you're bearish, over 15,141.75. In the Dow, what number did you hit today? Again, the lower Bollinger Band. So if you were caught in the market and it gets down there, I know everything is, I got to get out, this market's going crazy. It's actually the spot where you're going to get help from the people that are short. They're typically buying at that number to take in shorts, and that's what I think happened. Are we in a trend? No. You have a pattern of a higher high, lower low. You have nothing. You have a correction going on. Now, unlike the S&P, you do tend to break down to the lower Bollinger Band more often in this, but you still manage to come back in short order. So let's see if the market does that. One of these times it won't. And at that point, I think we've had a watershed event in the market. Do I see it right now? No. Do I see from the fundamentals to get bearish? No, I don't. Do I see a correction? Yes. Last August, how much do you think these markets were down? August is a rough month, 9%. So to get a 5% or more correction, is it a problem? I don't think so. So correction time, okay. The Russell's the weakest. I've been consistent in that. the trouble market, but now will it be able to get back and fight this area of the 200-day average? That's what I think the pros are looking to see. This has been the outcast. This has been the weakest, and it's still showing all those signs. In the bond market, momentum is up, trend is up. Target these old highs if it can get there. It's got to prove that it can. Support is going to be back at 164.24, and if you break through 164.17, that would break this uptrend. I expect to see the pros try to support it for a 7-tick risk. In the VIX cash, as I told you, I thought that the pros yesterday went short this market. I think that the first support, and I said this yesterday, would come in at the 200-day average since you're over it, and then after that, the lower numbers. The market often does try to get back to those lower numbers. We'll see. You're about to have the potential here of having the red, the 18-day average, get over the 100. Do you see that? That bullish crossover. So you're playing with that. Should the market get underneath yesterday's lows, the target does become that combination of numbers. We'll see if it can stay up. Each time it's done this, I don't have to explain that to you. Just look, what has it done? It's reversed. That's why I said, are we going to see a watershed event or not? In the 10-year notes, the market's got lower highs, higher lows. It is not trending. It's got the bias up and momentum sort of drifting to the upside. In the dollar index, this is the first challenge of the upper Bollinger Band. And as I've said, the market does tend to stall at times and not quite get there. It got there today. Not embedded. I think the pros came out today. I think a lot of profit taking was done against that number. That is not the same as going short. In the eurocurrency, just missed hitting that lower Bollinger Band. That number was, let's see, we got as low as 116.70.5, and the Bollinger Band was 116, let's call it 64. So just missed it by 6 ticks. We'll see if it hits it tonight. British pound still falling under the weight of all this going on with the dollar, strong as can be. Bitcoin came down, held together. Now, I want you to look. The market here had lost, watch this, its embedded reading. Did it regain it today? Yeah. It's the only day it can regain it is the day after it's lost. So a rough day for it here. I was on it with my subscribers this morning, and I told them you can't buy because you don't know where it's going to finish. Well, it finished strong, and if it stays like that, then you're still targeting up here. Lose it again, and you're probably going to correct down into these moving average combinations. Brent. The differential got up to $3, backing down by 8 cents tonight. But as you can see, while the differential's there, look at how these markets have gone into a state of collapse. Why? China keeps cracking down on corporations, internet companies, learning companies, and the newest thing that President Xi said is he wants big corporations to share their profits. Why do you want to own a big corporation if in a communist country they're telling you to share the profits? So the idea of investing in that, I think you're seeing massive amounts of money come out of foreign investments in their economy, and I think that's been the goal. I think that, it's nice. You want to invest with us, great. But you're giving back most of that money to our people. Is that the environment you make money on as a private investor? I'll let you figure that one out. But down you go through there, still dropping in the heating oil, and you're getting a bit of a bounce off the lower Bollinger Band in the nat gas, but it's still under selling pressure. So, in summation, when you look at these markets and you try to tell me that what you've got is inflation pressures, when the Fed next meets, what inflation pressures do we have? You had $1,700 lumber. It's $470 a board foot today. So it's fallen all the way back and lower. Copper pulling back. Now, copper has an interesting story. In Chile, Peru, the different unions are now fighting for larger pay. And it's interesting, as prices are falling as much as they have, they just fallen, 60 cents a pound, that the miners want the money from the corporate profits, and they feel that they're entitled to more pay. They may go out on strike. And as those strikes start spreading, in fact, we've seen some of the mines have the strikers already vote to strike. So if that happens, that starts putting a floor, at least in terms of the supply available in that market. It doesn't change the fact that China's in a slowdown. They consume half the world's copper. It doesn't change the game for the platinum and palladium that auto manufacturing is down, not going to pick up very much because they don't have the chips. If you don't have the chips, you make your most productive cars, productive being profitable, and you do what you can there, but you're not going to get the massive numbers out there. So while we see cracks in the used car market, you're starting to pull back. Remember that each day I put out a morning ETF video and then a futures market video. It's only for the paid subscribers. I cover 40 charts in both of them. One comes out, and I record at 5:40. It comes out after 6 o'clock. The other, I record anywhere between 8:50 to 9 in the morning. It comes out about 9:30 or so. And you'll say, well, that's after the market's open. Yeah, futures is different. It only closes for an hour. So, it's all a different world there. But to get these, it's simple. Go to our website at www.iraepstein.com. Go under the word research. You find out all about it there. It's all explained, and that's where you sign up. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a great day.